Coming up on Mountain News this morning, as more states begin to relax stay-at-home orders, some health officials worry it will lead to a rise in confirmed cases of COVID-19. And while many are looking forward to the reopening of shops and restaurants here in Kentucky, the owners of some of those businesses are worried about navigating this new environment. And as we share the story of one Kentucky native who is climbing mountains to help people tackle their own.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Lacey Roberts, and thank you for joining us on Mountain News This Morning. Today is Monday, May 18th. And beginning with today, we start with a severe weather alert day as well. Let's go ahead and bring in Brandon Robinson. We've been talking about it all morning, and today is a great day to have that weather app to stay alert with what's going to be happening. Right, Brandon?
Exactly, Lacey. And we're going to continue to see fairly quiet start to the morning, at least active weather-wise. But when you step out the door, you're going to notice a big change from yesterday. Let's take a look at Line Pinpoint Doppler radar, and we are already tracking some rain down toward Lake Cumberland there, Pulaski, Wayne, and McCreary counties out into parts of southern Kentucky there. We're going to continue to watch that trend. Maybe one little lone shower over parts of McGoffin County this morning, but that's really about the only game in town for now. It will pick up in coverage as we head deeper in the morning and into the afternoon. Temperatures in the 70s on the airport sensors now. Of course, a lot of these are up higher, so that's a little bit of warmer air up there, but 60s across the board this morning, even though some mid-60s down toward the Kentucky, Tennessee, and Virginia border. 76 our official forecast high. We could get a bit above that there as we head deeper into the forecast, but the chances for showers and storms increasing should kind of keep us right there in that range for the most part. As we look ahead real quick, we do have a flash flood watch that kicks in for most of the region at 8 a.m. this morning. I'll show you that and what areas it covers here in a little bit. Showers and storms today, and some of those could be on the stronger side, and a soggy trend over the next few days. The rest of that forecast coming up here in just a little bit. Lacey?
Thank you, Brandon. Almost every state enters the week with eased COVID-19 restrictions, and some health officials worry that will lead to a rise in confirmed COVID-19 cases. John Lawrence reports.
Many Americans are now leaving the house as stay-at-home or shelter-in-place orders are lifted in dozens of states.
Everyone's watching this to see what this grand experiment is going to result in. But we know for an absolute certainty that as you increase physical interactions between people, you are going to increase the number of new cases.
According to Johns Hopkins University, there are nearly 90,000 confirmed coronavirus-related deaths in the U.S., and CDC Director Dr. Robert Redfield says the U.S. will likely pass 100,000 deaths by June 1st.
We do not have good restrictions or good guidelines in place for people how to reopen. It's going to become very confusing for people. We're going to see more and more cases.
President Trump has repeatedly stressed the importance of states reopening as one way to strengthen the struggling economy.
We're committed to delivering a vaccine. We're going to put the full power of the U.S. government and our private sector towards getting to a vaccine. But that's one part of a multifactorial response program.
As the U.S. waits for a vaccine to be available, Americans are moving onward.
I think the most I'm going to have on a job is 4, maybe, and that's a lot different. I mean, we used to have 7, 8 guys on jobs, so things might take a little longer, but at least we're going to be safe moving forward.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
And the 3 states with coronavirus cases falling the fastest are New Jersey, Missouri, and Idaho. The 3 states rising the fastest are South Dakota, Arkansas, and Maine. And back here in Kentucky, Governor Andy Beshear did not give his daily coronavirus briefing last night, but we do have an update on COVID-19 in eastern Kentucky. The Cumberland Valley District Health Department confirmed new cases of COVID-19 in both Jackson and Clay counties yesterday. The Clay County patient is a woman who is currently hospitalized. Jackson County has 2 new cases, a 54-year-old woman and a 36-year-old woman. There are now 61 cases in Jackson County and 2 cases in Clay County. For more information on COVID-19 in eastern Kentucky, you can head on over to our website at WYMT.com. And on Wednesday, retail stores can reopen, and on Friday, the travel ban ends. 10-person social gatherings can resume, and restaurants can open back up at 33% capacity inside. but that doesn't mean that every restaurant owner is ready to open up. Krista Frost explains why.
It's a week we've waited for, shops and restaurants finally reopening to the public. But while you're excited, owners are far more hesitant.
Yeah, I don't have plans to reopen anytime soon. Honestly, it doesn't feel safe from a health perspective.
And it's not just the health aspect.
And it doesn't feel feasible from an economic perspective when we're only allowed to open at 33% capacity.
Financially, it's difficult. Dan Wu's business, Atomic Ramen, has more of a food court set up at the summit, making social distancing a lot more complicated.
You need more staff to be able to let people in, figure out the numbers, sanitize those doors. It's just much more staffing for much less business, and it just makes it really difficult.
But for those with an outdoor space...
So I wouldn't mind to buy more tents to install here and just let people sit outside.
That's likely the only way you could sit down at your favorite spot.
Honestly, personally, I'm not ready to open my dining to anyone yet.
Most restaurant owners say they're just not ready to take the chance of letting people sit inside.
God forbid, if somebody claims they got sick from your place, and that's it. That's the end of your business because you have to shut down.
At least for 2 weeks, another financial hit they can't afford to take. That's why many are sitting back and taking it one day at a time.
It's kind of based on feeling, it's based on statistics, it's based on some of the science and some of the medicine news that's coming out in terms of infection rates.
In Lexington, Krista Frost, WKYT.
And many of the restaurants opening back up soon say that they want you to call for information on how they're handling reopening before you stop by. Some are asking that you even make a reservation if possible. And one Kentucky native is climbing mountains to help people tackle the mountain problems caused by COVID-19. Brittany Woodrum will be climbing all of Colorado's 14ers. That's mountains with peaks over 14,000 feet to raise money for Shelter Box. It's an organization that provides shelter, cooking tools, and other necessities for those who need it, and for those numbers have increased over the past few months.
But the goal is to raise $1,400 per mountain, so a total of $82,000 by the end of this incredible journey. All for Shelter Box and all for their current COVID-19 emergency relief of people.
While she has a long journey ahead of her, Woodrum says that she is ready to tackle those 58 mountains for the people who need it the most. And it's National Safe Boating Week. Coronavirus is playing a role in the latest Riverside guidelines. Heading to the water can be a great way to get out of your house, and boating is allowed in the state of Kentucky during the pandemic. But even outside, certain restrictions still apply.
You still need to consider the social distancing. So your boat, depending on the size of it, yes, you're going to have to watch those big crowds and that type of thing. You know, you're not going to be able to load it down. But for just you and your family, until everything does release entirely, it's a wonderful way to get outside.
Experts say the number one thing you can do to stay safe on the water is to wear a life jacket. 84% of those who drowned in 2018 didn't have protective gear on. And Westudi Auto Winds Golf Course in Bell County reopened on Friday after a massive flood in early February caused the course to close. WYMT's Dakota Makeris talked with golf course officials and players who are excited about the reopening.
That sound is finally echoing throughout the mountains at Westudi Winds.
Not again.
Mud and debris covered the golf course after flooding in early February.
We got so much it covered the entire golf course. Cumberland River overflowed and it shut us down. So we had roughly 75 acres to 100 acres of mud to remove.
This video shows the challenges of the cleanup.
The hardest part of the cleanup was the elements. You know, as soon as we started, it was 37 degrees, sleeting, snowing, and rain.
But the hard work paid off. For golfers like Madeline Fultz, she is happy to be on the green once again with her dad.
It's a really nice place to golf. It's nice and quiet. it's a quality place and it's really nice.
Abby Howard is a first tee golfer. She and her grandfather drive an hour away to golf. So the news of the flooding was upsetting.
I was really sad because I love coming over here and spending my summers. I'm over here probably 3 to 4 times a week every summer.
Families can once again spend time bonding over a sport they love. In Bell County, Dakota Makris, WYMT Mountain News.
And Wasiato Winds Golf Course wants to thank all of the hardworking state park staff and the golf maintenance crews who made it possible for the course to reopen.
6:13 on this Monday morning, and we're tracking a little bit of rain out toward Lake Cumberland, going through parts of Pulaski County right now. Actually, a big chunk of Pulaski County on line pinpoint down the radar, but no major action yet. Okay, that's going to start to pick up as we get deeper into the day. What is some major action this morning is these temperatures. 69 in Pikeville, 68 in Moorhead, Logan, Irvin, and over toward Williamsburg is also 69 in Harlan, but 70s across from basically Somerset up through Hazard and Jackson, Prestonsburg, and up toward Huntington, West Virginia. So it is a very mild start to the day in some locations. Now, it is going to creep upward just a little bit more, but with those clouds already in place, again, those rain chances will start to increase as well, and we'll see temperatures only in the 76-degree range today, but we could also see the possibility for some stronger storms and some heavier bands of rain, which will lead to some threats, which we'll talk about here in just a little bit. Lacey?
Thank you, Brandon. And thank you for joining us on Mountain News this morning. Coming up, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration has given the green light for medical labs to test at-home coronavirus sample kits.